right. Hey, everybody. Today's video is just a quick intro about why we chose to run the triple gun offense at our high school program. The main thought for us really is, what's going to be the best for our high school program, all the way down to, our JV, freshman, youth programs. We have to play things pretty perfectly at our school, in my opinion, to beat some of the solid opponents that we see. And we see a lot of variation in the defenses we see, and we just have to be different. So for years we ran a double wing offense, a lot of power counter trap, and it was great. Our former coach was great at thinking 3 or 4 plays in a row ahead of time, ahead of schedule. And as I took over, even though I have great offensive coordinators and offensive staff, I just feel a lot more comfortable as a defensive guy historically, being able to see the shape of the defense, decide who not only to block but who not to block, and it just was the easiest to game plan for me. So here's a couple reasons we chose it beyond what I just said. So for me, I think it's better for a smaller program. If you're lucky enough to have better players, which we do sometimes, we have some hardworking kids, and we do okay for a school that has less kids in the actual building. Um, but we need that option over the long haul to be better sometimes and also be different. So we have a nice balance to what we do. We have the ability to pass the ball maybe more than a flex bone team or a double wing team, and so when we do have the spread players to do it, we can be more of a spread type offense. But when when the odds go the way they should, with a bigger school playing against us, we have to be different if we want to beat those teams. So triple option is a little less common. You start to see the RPOs and a lot of other stuff, but old school triple option is definitely becoming less common and less understood. So and by players and coaches, because coaches have so many other offenses to understand. So this can kind of fade, and it can be tough to plan for. Adding the pistol and the gun type stuff really allows us to put the pass game in a lot easier without our quarterbacks being in a kind of a panicked backpedal, which you see sometimes when flexbone teams or split veer teams have to pass. So that's our number one reason is we have to do what's best for our program. So if your program's like that, I'd say it's worth considering for sure. Uh, it helps coaches and play callers of all experience levels. So because we have an if-then system, you really can teach guys to do their homework ahead of time, and then they at least know the right call for the situation, right? I mean, it's like playing blackjack. When you first learn how to play blackjack, you should know what the rules say, what the book says, and then you start breaking the rules as you go a little bit, as you know what to do. But if you have a brand new coach, it's a lot easier to have them prepare really hard and put a good if-then sheet together rather than have them just go by their gut all the time. So uh, when in doubt, we just run triple because our kids always need practice, right? If we're a freshman team or a JV team where the win or loss doesn't really matter as much, we just want to get them running triple as much as possible. So a little easier for play callers there. Um, Old school coaches can see it as a smash mouth offense, and new school guys can see it as spread based on what we look like, what formations we do. If we want to shift the balance a little bit more to our passing game, you can get a lot of different types of coaches being excited about it. For us, it definitely helps the quarterback a lot. There's way more space to identify keys and make better reads. The pocket is way friendlier for passing, just because we're back a little bit more. He's safer, he's more protected, and we have tough quarterbacks, but there's no reason for them to get hit. When you get to your second or third quarterback in the year, that can be tough. So we want to have our top quarterback available as much as possible. So this setup allows a lot of that. For us, backs and receivers can be interchangeable. It really are, and our O line can be interchangeable. So our blocking schemes are based on repetition. We have basic rules. It's really zone based with an occasional, half slide on some play action plays and some run plays. but a lot of zone based, whether we're going zone two or zone away. It's pretty simple. So backs and receivers can be interchangeable by, if we want to get the ball in somebody's hand, hopefully they've run the same play a million times, or in pre-practice they've run it from different spots, so they're comfortable. So it helps us get the best kids on the field. Like I said, with the offensive line, you know, a lot of wing T teams, I'm sure they have kids that can do multiple positions. They understand the scheme, but for us, it we never have to have a kid tell us that they're only a tackle or only a guard, because they should know both. There's very few blocking schemes. So if you're our sixth best offensive lineman, we want you in there, and it's adaptable to the JV level, the freshman level, youth programs. You know, option option offense can be really overwhelming at first, but our philosophy is really we just want our youth to practice it. After that, it's if we can take away one period of practice that would be normally like some old school conditioning, or you know some drill that doesn't make sense, or coaches are looking at how to fill the time. you know Being able to practice the option, whether it's small drills or just running it on air, that's great for youth programs, and even freshmen sometimes, where they're not going to be able to read it great in a game. And then all the off all the non-option plays and all the formations we use, they can definitely be enough to win at a youth level. They can be enough to win at the high school level, if you have good players and you can start seeing what they're giving up. If you get a day where your quarterback's just not reading it right, we have plenty of options, plenty of plays, to supplement what we do in the option game without a bunch of new rules. And the last main reason is our blocking schemes. Like we said, if you look at our menu, which I'll show you in a second, we basically have a full slide menu, which for triple, it's going to be gap away full slide, because we're going to read a few people on the front side of the play, on the play side, and then most of our other plays are going to be gap two plays. So we just say zone two or gap two. So some of our supplemental options and non-option runs, as well as a few of our passing schemes, it's all going to be very similar blocking schemes. So little things change. Linemen can't go downfield and all that kind of stuff, but it's very similar. And then our second main type of blocking scheme is half slide. So when we're running an ISO play, or we're running some screens, play action passes, we'll mix in a little bit of this, and that rule's really simple as well. It takes practice like anything else, but it's really easy to talk to the kids and say, hey, did we do this right? This is your rule. This is what you do. Here's our full menu, and we don't use a lot of it. So this right here is as much of our offense as we can afford it to be. We want to run triple as early and often as we can, to figure out if we can get away with it and score on it, or if we need to have some change ups. And then here are our change ups. So we have pretty much five other run plays that we can do. So 3 other options, 2 base non-option handoffs. So and then we get into our pass game, and we have our quick pass, and we can do some sprint out stuff. For that half slide type of blocking, where we kind of man block the front, we get some ISOs that we can run, draws that we can run. We have midline in the back of the playbook. We really don't need it, but we have it if we need it. And our play action will usually use this half slide type of blocking. So if we want to go off script a little bit, we can put in some traps and counters. We started playing with some power read, jet reads last year, and then we can get any sort of extra screens or toss passes, throwbacks, trick plays, those kind of things. But we rarely need those. We really want to get a ton of reps in this area, with the main concepts we need. If we don't need it or we don't use it very much, we can cross it out that year and keep it really simple. So, watching a few plays, if we just take some of our biggest triple plays of the year, this is the other reason we run it. Our base play that we install on day one and we run over and over and over again can get us some big plays. So just a handoff up the middle as we read, tailback cuts it back, and we get a 45-yard gain out of it just on the dive play. You can see it from the backside. Because we start in the backfield, we're able to cut back, which a lot of under center option teams can't do. They have to declare which side they're going to, whereas we can bend it back like more of a zone team. Okay, that team was a state champion team. We saw them in a scrimmage, but that was our state champ. And just taking our base play, taking it to the outside, hitting our pitch, getting 30 yards. And we do it so many times that it's safe for us. This is a team that's regularly in the semifinals and the finals. Running triple to the short side of an unbalanced. Again, it's just a dive, and you can see we're at play 91 here, so it's the end of the game, and what might be tough early on can get a lot easier, guys. Our opponents have to watch a lot of different movements in front of them. We can sneak out with basic dive plays going for 30 yards. We love it because we can run the same play, but just with a little bit of counter type of stuff. So instead of always flowing with the motion, right? If we get teams that are flowing with motion, again, another really good playoff team, consistent playoff team that we're seeing here. We sneak out with our base play, just tag it with a counter motion or whirly or twirl motion, and a good team runs out of players, and you get, you're over 20 yards without your quarterback taking a hit. Okay, another unbalanced triple, taking it to the outside. Quarterback has read it so many times. He takes it outside. The pitch man goes to the pitch, so now it's another quarterback run, and we have plenty of blockers. So, over 20 yards. Here's another give that goes for 20 plus, untouched. Here's another one. Good broken tackle on that one, but get a lot out of it. And we'll finish on this one. Again, great team. Team that's, no complaints for us, but this team has, 3 times the enrollment at their school as we do, and some great players and great coaches. So you can't mess around. You got to definitely have a plan for these teams, and it's great when your base play can take some really good athletes and put them in a bind. So just taking it outside, pitching off the pitch man, running in for a touchdown. We were mounting a pretty solid comeback at that point in the game. So, million reasons to do it for us. If anybody ever wants to talk about it, hopefully our offensive coaches down at our youth program will get in touch, and we can discuss it and how to put some youth flavor to it. Keep it simple. But it's a great offense. It's really fun to play with those chess pieces, and it lets you do some of the modern things that everyone's doing, but also be different and take some of those old school principles that people are kind of moving away from. So it's a good combination of everything. It's really helped us out, and I think it has us in heading in the right direction. So reach out anytime, whether you're one of our guys or anybody out there, if you want to talk triple gun offense and gun option offense. Or whether you want to talk about coaching at a smaller school or coaching at a kind of an underdog school, always here to talk. So email, reach out on Twitter, and we'll talk soon. All right, thanks.